think at this point, we're all ready to say goodbye to 2020. Despite incredibly ironic all-time highs in the stock market, millions of Americans and people all around the world have really struggled financially this year. A big reason for this is obviously because of circumstances completely out of our control, like, a worldwide pandemic. But as life hopefully starts to go back to normal next year, it's important to remember your financial goals and break those bad money habits wherever possible. In this video, we'll go over 30 financial New Year's resolutions that you can implement starting today, or, January 1st. Following just one of these resolutions will not make you an overnight millionaire, but combined, these financial best practices will put you on the path to financial freedom. And let me know in the comments below, what is your financial New Year's resolution? Is it something on this list or something else? First up, create a sustainable budget and stick to it. Money that has a predetermined purpose before even hitting your bank account is money that's less likely to be wasted on unnecessary purchases. Take 5 minutes at the beginning of the year and write out every single expense that you expect to have on a weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. Number 2, start tracking your money with a service like Mint or YNAB, or even on your own with an Excel spreadsheet or even pen and paper. Despite what your mother may tell you, ignorance is not bliss. A budget is worthless if you don't actually track your money to make sure that you're following your budget. And even if you don't budget extensively, tracking your money is still a really great financial practice. So much of money management comes down to having just an intimate knowledge of your finances, because you cannot make informed decisions about saving, paying off debt, and investing if you don't know where your money is and how much you're spending. If you're able to keep up this habit long term, it is so rewarding to see the numbers growing. I look forward to spreadsheet day every month because it gives me an idea of how far I've come since I began my financial journey 3 years ago when I graduated college with a mountain of debt and virtually no savings. Number 3, create both a short-term and a long-term emergency fund. If you already have an emergency fund, then just buff it up. Emergency funds are vital if you want to avoid racking up credit card debt every time you get into an unexpected expense, like your car breaking down or taking your dog to the vet. Number 4, take some time to actually physically write out your financial goals for this year and future years. These financial big picture items would be things like getting married, buying a house, having a kid, paying for your child's college education, paying off all of your student loan debt, or even retiring early. It's important to actually physically list out your goals long term so that you can see what you need to do step by step, year over year, in order to make those goals happen. Saving money here and there and tracking your everyday spending is really important, but it's also equally important to not lose sight of the bigger picture. Number 5, move your savings to a high-yield savings account. High-yield savings accounts are savings accounts that offer slightly higher interest rates, usually around 1 to 2%. If you have your money with a normal bank, it's basically like leaving free money on the table. So you should definitely take advantage of some of the great high-yield savings accounts out there, like Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally Bank, and Capital One Bank, which will give you at least some return on your money, however small. Number 6, plan out all of your weekly meals and add all of those ingredients to your grocery list before going grocery shopping, and try not to deviate from this list too much. It can be really easy to just rack up a huge grocery bill if you go into a grocery store with no clear path as to what you're actually trying to make from the food that you're buying. This leads to a lot of food wastage and ultimately money wastage. Number 7, switch to a mobile virtual network operator plan, or MVNO for short. These plans offer basically the same service as the big carriers like AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, but at a fraction of the price. I only pay $15 a month for my phone bill, and considering that the average American pays $100 a month for their phone bill, that's a savings of almost $1,000 a year. Number 8, open up a Roth IRA with the goal of contributing a set amount each month. Roth IRAs are one of the best, most accessible tax-advantaged accounts that you can park your money in. And if you already have a Roth IRA, then just increase your contributions. Number 9, if your employer offers a 401k match, contribute enough money to meet that match. And if you're already doing that, consider upping your contributions even more above the match. Number 10, automate as much as possible, like paying off your credit card bills, moving money to savings, and moving money to your investment accounts. Humans are innately emotional creatures, and we're fueled by inertia. It's much easier to let something passively happen than it is to actively make something happen. So if you want to make it more likely that you'll stick to your financial New Year's resolutions, automate the crap out of everything. Seriously, just go into every single account and automate as much as possible. You'll be much more likely to actually follow through throughout the year. Number 11, reevaluate your investment portfolio and make sure that it's still in line with your goals. I'm a pretty hands-off investor. I just invest in index funds and call it a day, but it's still important to regularly look at your portfolio to make sure that it's still meeting what you want your portfolio to do for you. For example, if you're still young and decades away from retirement, you might be more comfortable with a riskier approach. But if you're only a couple years away from retirement, you'll want to double check that your portfolio is giving you the stability that you need at this stage in life. Number 12, calculate your net worth on a regular basis. This is a whole lot easier if you track your money, which was the second item on this list. So I would consider doing both of these things simultaneously. It's important to know your net worth throughout different stages of life so you know if you're actually meeting your goals and moving forward financially. Number 13, add beneficiaries to all of your assets like life insurance or retirement accounts. Naming beneficiaries will allow those accounts to easily transfer to the people that you choose in the event of your death. It's just a really small thing that just takes 5 minutes to do, and so many people put it off because they think they're years away from dying, and let's face it, we all want to believe that. But no one knows for sure when you're going to pass away, and leaving your loved ones with the headache of trying to sort out your accounts is not a great gift. I've also heard of cases where a man gets life insurance while he's married to his first wife, names her as the beneficiary, divorces that wife, and then gets married to a second wife and then eventually passes away. But he never changed the beneficiary on his life insurance. So despite dying married to his second wife, all of his life insurance money went to his first wife. If the second wife wants to fight it, she'll have to take the first wife to court, and that can be really expensive and time-consuming for everyone involved. And this whole thing could have been avoided if the man had just taken 5 minutes to change his beneficiary on his life insurance policy. Number 14 is in a similar vein as the last item. Create a will, especially if you have children. And even if you don't have children, think about all the assets that are in your name, like a car or a house, or even just priceless family heirlooms. You'll want some say in what happens to those things in the event of your death. And it makes it so much easier for your entire family if you have a will that lists out exactly what your wishes are. Number 15, pay off all of your high interest debt, like credit card debt, and vow to never incur that debt again if you can help it. It can be really difficult to climb out of the credit card financial hole because of the very high interest rates that credit cards charge. But if you're able to get that debt wiped off your record, you'll be financially in such a better shape. Number 16, protect your physical assets with renters or homeowners insurance and car insurance. If you already have these policies, double check all of the coverage and make sure that it's still in line with what you need for your current stage of life. And always shop around for different policies because there might be a better rate out there. Number 17, if you have a car, invest in a dash cam. These are basically like little GoPro type cameras that sit on the front of your dash and record constantly while you're driving. There are a bunch of different models out there with different price points, but the important thing is that you'll have video evidence in case somebody rear ends you or you get into an accident. If there are no witnesses to an accident besides you and someone else, it can be a game of he said, she said to the police officer and to your insurance companies who will fight tooth and nail not to pay out any money unless they have to. It can also be really helpful in hit and run situations because sometimes your dash cam will allow you to capture the license plate of the hit and run driver. The dash cam that I use has a front and rear camera, so I get almost 360-degree coverage. I'll link that model in the description if you guys want to check it out. Number 18, check your credit report and your credit score on a regular basis. In the US, there are 3 credit agencies, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Under US law, each of these 3 credit agencies have to provide a free credit report to you on a yearly basis. So between the 3 agencies, you can get 3 reports each year. What I like to do is every 4 months, I'll pull my credit report from one of the agencies, and then 4 months later, I'll pull a different report from another agency. Although the 3 agencies don't communicate with each other, their reports are usually the same, so spreading them out for every 4 months allows me to check for fraud and check different identity theft possibilities on a more regular basis. Credit reports will not tell you your credit score, but there are different apps and services out there that will allow you to track that on a regular basis too. I have my primary checking account with Chase, and they offer free credit score tracking to their customers, so I check that score on a weekly basis. I also have an account with Credit Karma, which is a free app that allows you to check your credit scores as derived by TransUnion and Equifax. Number 19, get healthy. I know this is the most overrated New Year's resolution ever, but it's really important from a financial perspective as well. Whatever your preferred method, just get some exercise, whether it be joining a gym, going rock climbing, biking, or maybe joining a dance class. In a similar vein, make sure you're eating healthier too. So much of our physical health is based off of nutrition and diet, and cooking at home not only saves you money, but it also is much better for your body over the long run, assuming you're cooking healthy things, of course. Staying healthy and active will reduce the chance of incurring future healthcare costs, which can be exorbitant in the US. And number 20 is very similar. If you can afford it, get preventative care. So that's things like going to your doctors on a yearly basis for an annual checkup and potentially blood work done if possible. If you're a woman, make sure you're getting regular pap smears and breast exams. If you're a man, I think you guys get colonoscopies at a certain age, so make sure you're doing that because not only is cancer awful, it's also expensive. And don't neglect other areas of your health too. Get your teeth cleaned every 6 months and get your eyes checked regularly, even if you don't have bad vision, because there are certain diseases that can happen in your eyes that are important to screen for. Number 21, get a password manager like LastPass or KeePass. These are super secure apps that sit on your computer or your phone or whatever device that you use that basically house all of your passwords in a really secure and encrypted way. This has allowed me to use a different computer-generated password for every single site and account that I have, making it much less likely that my accounts will be hacked. Way too many people use basically the same password for all of their different accounts, and this can lead to cases where one account gets compromised and then all of the rest of your accounts are hacked as well. This can lead to serious financial consequences down the road. It can be really, really expensive to fight and deal with identity theft. Number 22, pay all of your bills and mandatory expenses immediately after receiving your paycheck. Then move money to savings, investments, and paying off debts based on your decided goals. The longer money sits in a checking account, the more likely it is that you'll waste it on something unnecessary. So the sooner you can get it out of your checking account and to bills or savings or investments or paying off debt, the better you'll be financially long term. Number 23. Dedicate at least one day a month where you sit down and review all of your financials. On this day, you should be asking yourself, am I still on track financially? Am I meeting my budget? Am I meeting my goals? What did I do wrong this month? What did I do right? How can I improve for next month? Basically, just check in with yourself. Make sure that you're still where you want to be and make sure that you're still going where you want to be going. I personally like to do this on the last day of the month, but just choose whatever day works the best for you and your lifestyle. Number 24, if you know you can be responsible with credit cards, consider applying for some credit cards with big sign-up bonuses and perks. If you use credit cards for all of your yearly spending, especially if you're swapping out credit cards for different ones depending on sign-up bonuses or different promotions that credit card companies are offering, you could fund all of your traveling for free just based off of those credit card points that you're accumulating. Of course, you need to be careful with this because you don't want to be opening too many credit cards at a time, otherwise your credit score might take a hit. But if you do this slowly and responsibly, it's a really great way to accumulate some extra benefits from just your normal spending. Number 25, explore new job opportunities even if you don't plan on leaving your employer. Research has shown that people typically experience larger compensation increases by switching employers, rather than staying with the same company for their entire career. And even if you really don't want to leave your current company, it's always good to stay fresh on your interviewing skills and have an updated resume. You never know what opportunity might come to you, and you have all the power when you're in that position. You don't have to leave for a different job if it's not exactly what you want. Number 26, find a side hustle. For example, my side hustle is YouTube, and I make a grand total of $0, so maybe not the best side hustle. But regardless, side hustles can be a great way to make some extra money, especially if you have some in-demand skills like woodworking or knitting or something that creates a product that people will value. And if you don't have any skills that you can market like that, you can always drive for Uber or babysit or tutor kids or virtually anything else. There are 1,000 different ideas out there, and that really deserves to be its own video, so I'll just leave it at that for now. Number 27, cut the cable cord if you haven't already. I mean, what year is it now? 2021? I guess the more 2021 version of this tip would be cut the subscription cord. You don't need 7 different subscriptions for streaming services. No, but seriously, it's great that we've moved to more streaming platforms because paying $100 for cable that has 30% ads anyway just seemed so painful to me. But we really don't need as many streaming services as we think we do. For example, back when Game of Thrones was in its heyday, I only signed up for HBO 3 months a year when Game of Thrones is currently out. For the other 9 months of the year, I canceled that service. Number 28, declutter. I know it's not spring cleaning season yet, but get a head start on 2021 and declutter your house or your apartment. Decluttering and donating or getting rid of things that you don't want anymore is a really great way to just feel more internally at peace and not have the temptation to want to fill your house back up with more stuff because you just spent so much time decluttering. It's also great for finding hidden treasures that you don't want anymore but still have some value, so you can sell them on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or wherever and get some money out of your house of just junk that's sitting around. Number 29, get your taxes done early, even as early as January. Too many people think that you have to wait until April when taxes are due to file your taxes, but that's not true at all. All you need to wait for is your employer or other accountants to send you the necessary forms, which usually happens no later than mid to late January. I'll be releasing a video in early 2021 of me doing my taxes step by step, so if you want to see that, be sure to stick around. And then finally, number 30, become more financially literate. This channel can serve as a great resource if you're still learning or even if you feel like you've mastered the basics of personal finance. We cover everything from paying down debt, building emergency funds, budgeting, investing for retirement, credit cards, strategies for making your money more tax efficient, among way more. So consider subscribing if you haven't already. Which financial New Year's resolution are you making this year? Was it one of these on this list or was it something else? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like for the YouTube algorithm. I'll be taking next week off to spend with my loved ones, so to everybody watching, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I will see you all in the new year.